Live and in person here in Epping, New Hampshire, home of three of New Hampshire's governors, of which I can name one guy by the name of Prescott, where it's dark out now, but during the day, it's sunlight. Poli-Ticking with Mr. B. You've got your friend here, Mr. B, and I want to say hello to all the people, the wonderful viewers that are from here in the United States that are also viewing now from abroad. Thank you very much for looking in. But I'm going to give you wonderful greetings and thank you very much for watching. Before we go any further, I believe my engineer, Mr. Blazeman, has the colors to run up. Run up the colors you got on there, Blazeman, because we got a show to get to tonight. I hope we got it. Well, okay. Well, we're going to go on then. Sorry, everybody else. Anyway, I am going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Not what we've been seeing lately, but we'll get into some of that stuff later on. In the meantime, speaking about justice for all, I want to make a couple of quick moments. Take a look at these bad boys sitting right here. I'm stacking on these. These are the things that come from the Girl Scouts. The Girl Scouts of America, selling their cookies, they raise money, and they do wonderful things for wonderful children, which is what should be done. They're not selling them now, of course. They may be selling them online. I don't know. But when you do have the chance to do it, get out and get it. Spend a little money. You get a really good product, a nice cookie. It's one of those nice, you can take a look at that there. I got the peanut butter sandwich stuff in the center of it. You can see that right there. Good stuff. I love to wash it down, and I got my say hello, everybody, to Agnes, the Angry Chicken Mug. This is our Angry Chicken Mug, full of Cafe Caribe coffee. I am not being paid to plug this stuff, but you know what? Whenever I happen to find something that works out good for me, Cafe Caribe, I enjoy it. It goes good. I don't mind putting you onto it, and it's less expensive than a lot of other brands. So if you don't mind drinking the coffee that tastes like that, drink it. I enjoy it. All right. That all things having been said, this evening I want to discuss with you folks the things that have been going on with the Menendez issue. And I'm not talking about Eric and Lyle, the two people that were convicted of murdering their parents by shotgun, if I remember properly. No, we're talking about this fellow, a senator from New Jersey, I believe, that very recently has come under fire. Now, it's not his first scrape with something of having been indicted with something, but we're talking now beyond indictments. We are talking again, here's the hysteria that has erupted beyond what I would call reasonable judicial and jurisprudent thinking. Our country was founded under the principle that all persons are considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Ladies and gentlemen, innocent until proven guilty. Not, well, when someone makes an allegation, that's it, they're done. No. I can make an allegation that my brother-in-law is actually the Grand Duchess Anastasia. Prove that one in court. Unbelievable. There have been allegations spread around about this fellow, but let's step back in time a moment here. Let's find out a little bit more about this Menendez fellow, born on January the 1st. That's right, a New Year's baby, 1954. So he's not really old, ancient old. He's just 1954. New York. He got himself married to Jane Jacobson in 1976. A reasonable age to get married at. And unfortunately, the marriage dissolved back in 2005. He's a registered Democrat, which may be the reason why he's getting himself divorced. I don't know, but okay, whatever it is. The man remarried. He met a woman and he remarried her. Did a really interesting thing on way to propose marriage. Brought her out to where the Taj Mahal is. Sat down in front of the Taj Mahal on a park bench about a mile away from the Taj Mahal. Started serenading her and then proposed to her. Very nice. He's, a very nice romantic sort of thing to do. Lady by the name Nadine Arslanian got married in 2020. Not too long ago. Not too long ago. He had children from his previous marriage, Alicia and Robert, and he now has one stepdaughter. So, family oriented sort of people. His education. Where did he get educated? Well, he went to St. Peter's University, which is whatever. And Lord knows there are so many whatever schools that are out there, but that nowadays it seems like they're largely more documentation services than actual education. But anyway, that having been said, he got a Bachelor of Arts from St. Peter's University. Then he went on to Rutgers University. And that is a very noteworthy and astute university, my friends. A Juris Doctorate. He's a lawyer, or he received a Juris Doctorate, which most people that are in the Senate and House of Representatives, whatever else, they're all lawyers. From Rutgers University, an excellent education by all means. He's been noted as being a very talented person. Borderline genius type of person, seen as a creative writer. He's been likened to actors and poets, musicians. By all means, a very articulate man indeed. So the man has a lot of talents, and he's by all accounts that I've been finding, a likable individual, someone who he's a people person for the most part. From what I've come to find out, I could be wrong, but from what I've been able to find out, I've seen is there. Before becoming a senator, he was rubbing elbows with high rollers and cash cow whales. The large ones that the casinos over in Las Vegas and Reno and all that like to see. He was a frequent guest of a fellow by the name of Dr. Simon Melgen or Melgin, however it's pronounced. A fellow who lives in a house in a gated community. Houses there are somewhere around 20 million and so forth in that area. But he was a frequent guest of this doctor that was there. So, he had ingratiated himself and got himself into the upper echelon, if you will, things. So it stands to reason that this fella is not going to be poor mouth, dragging along, singing for his supper. He's a fellow that, by all means, fits the bill, fits in. Multi-million-dollar estate the guy had. Menendez received $20,000 from a Hollywood producer recently, Chaim Saban, who's a pro-Israel type fellow. And for what reason, I don't know. Maybe was it a down payment because the man's creative. He's been likened to actors and poets and whatnot. Maybe he's trying to engage him or get his services to help on a film or writing a screenplay or writing a book or something. Or I don't know. For whatever reason, he got $20,000. There's not hidden. Before 2014, he was indicted for something, and that went on, and they did all their hustling and bustling and gerbling and burbling and gurgling and whatever else. Finally went on to court, and I believe it was 2018. They had a hung jury or something of that nature. They declared a mistrial, and that was that washed it. The end of all of that noise, and that was it. And then he's been in since I believe 2006. He's been in public service, but before that, before the 2014 indictment, before even the indictment came down, he had a legal fund that received over $157,000. It was donated by a pro-Israel lobby. Now, Mr. Menendez himself is a fellow who has seen some horrible times. And if he identifies with the plight of the Israelis, if he's a friend to Israel, that's his business. certainly being our country's best interest to have people who are also pro-Israel because they're friends of ours. We want to be friends with them and so forth. So, and the man is in the forefront. I can understand them doing that. The New Jersey government and top Democrats and all the talking heads and whatever else are splitting their guts and opening their mouths and flapping their tongues and going on that they want this fellow to step down because he's been charged. So they've alleged bribery, and they're saying that there was some sort of bribery that had taken place because they had found some cash and so forth. But once again, let's step back now here and remember, it's innocent until what? Innocent until what? That's right. Innocent until proven guilty in a court of law by jury of your peers, or sometimes they have things that are judges' directed verdicts and so forth, whatever it is. But innocent until proven guilty, ladies and gentlemen. And already, before anything is going on, they've just come out with charges and allegations saying, well, we believe that this man did this, and blah, 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 whatever else. Again, I could say that my brother-in-law is actually the Grand Duchess Anastasia. I can charge him with that. Prove it. Has it been proven? Does it make it true? Because I've said it? Absolutely not. But the Democratic people are out there flapping their gums and going on and beating the hell out of this fellow, trying to say, get out of public service, resign your job and resign your post and walk away and hang your head in shame and this and that and all of that and what the rest of the stuff. It's the same mob principles. They're doing that with him. They've been doing that with just about anybody. Look, they did with former President Donald Trump. We can get into that. I don't want to get into that right now, but pretty much that's what they're facing. These people are just jumping on a bandwagon. It's hysteria, craziness. This afternoon, Menendez pled not guilty, he and his wife, to charges that he received bribes from 3 New Jersey businessmen. Now, the 3 New Jersey businessmen, who are they? I haven't heard very much about them. Philip by the name of Wael Hanna. Wael, he's known as Will Hanna. Jose Uribe, I don't know how I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably butchering it. And a Fred Davies. Wael Hanna is an American-born fellow of, I believe, Egyptian descent. Jose Uribe, I'm not exactly sure what is, if he was born here in the United States or if he was a naturalized citizen or something. Wael Hanna is a fellow that, in the charges brought by the federal government, Wael Hanna got some business dealings over in Egypt, some sort of contracts. I believe in construction contracts or construction and demolition contracts, something like that, over in Egypt. And they've been saying that Menendez used his office and used his influence to help this fellow get these contracts awarded to him and blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. And they're also alleging that to help things along, whatever else, Wael Hanna gave Menendez's wife a no-show job in his organization. Don't know if that's true or not. Jose Uribe or whatever it is, he's an insurance agent, or either that or by some accounts he's now a former insurance agent. And this Fred Daibes, Daibes, however it's pronounced, is a real estate developer. Okay, so we got Wael Hanna, fellow who does construction and demolition things, I believe. Jose Uribe, who does insurance, or is or was an insurance agent, and Fred Davies, well, it's a real estate developer. All of these jobs tend to go hand in hand. As a matter of fact, it has been my experience, and I have had experience in this, where when a group of people do these things that work in congruity very well together, they will hold together and they will do a number of projects together. This is how business happens. And okay, if you celebrate things, some people are very happy, whatever. They will do things, they will include things. I'm not seeing where. Okay, anyway, let's go a little bit further. Last week, the feds accused Menendez of accepting gold bullion and heaps of cash for Menendez to allegedly exert influence to assist Egypt and stonewall law enforcement investigations against these three people, if I'm not mistaken, from my information that I have. What they have that suggests that Mr. Menendez actually did this, I don't know. But all of the Democrats and the talking heads and this and that have already apparently convicted him in their own mind, and they're trying to shove him out of public office. The feds did a raid on his house, and they found in Menendez's house over $100,000 worth of gold bullion. Now, these were, I've seen photographs of them, 1 kilogram bars of gold. Now, and I did a Google search because he has said that they found on his computer, he did a Google search to find out how much 1 kilogram of gold was worth. And as of today, that kilogram of gold is worth $62,238.68. And they found, again, of course, the wads of cash. Before I go any further with any of this, Mr. Blazeman, I believe we've got some videos to see. Can we see video number one? Should be about a 1 minute, 1.5 minute, maybe 2 minute video. Can we bring that up? Do we have that ready? I certainly hope.
I firmly believe that when all the facts are presented, not only will I be exonerated, but I still will be the New Jersey's senior senator. On Friday, the Southern District of New York brought charges against me. I understand how deeply concerning this can be. However, the allegations leveled against me are just that, allegations. For 30 years, I have withdrawn thousands of dollars in cash from my personal savings account, which I have kept for emergencies and because of the history of my family facing confiscation in Cuba. Now, this may seem old-fashioned, but these were monies drawn from my personal savings account based on the income that I have lawfully derived over those 30 years. All I humbly ask for in this moment, in my colleagues in Congress, the elected leaders, and the advocates of New Jersey that I have worked with for years, as well as each person who calls New Jersey home, is to pause and allow for all the facts to be presented.
All right, that having been said, it is a perfectly reasonable explanation as to why there would be that kind of cash in the man's home. The man practices what he grew up knowing. It is hard to trust banks. It is in other financial institutions. You may remember what happened in the late 1980s And in the 1990s, and again in the early 2000s with banks, plus the man also knew what it was like to be afraid of mobs and of governments that can get out of hand. Portable wealth is the only thing that these people feel comfortable with. Portable wealth, gobs of cash. And by the way, there is an awful lot of talk that as we are sitting here speaking, the value of our dollars keeps going down and down and down and down and down. So does knowing that now maybe in your mind think, well, maybe it might be reasonable that a person who, by example, by established history doesn't lie, by established history, this man has spent a good portion of his life in and among the jet sets. Doesn't it speak volumes that the man would have cash? And so what? How many people do you know turn on their television and they see an advertisement saying, "Hi, I'm from bloody bloody blah company and I invest in gold. Please call me for this free paperwork or whatever else, and we'll send it out to you, and you too can buy gold and have it in your home." Okay, so the guy had a 1 kilo bar or a couple of 1 kilo bars worth the princely sum of 62 odd $1,000 each. That ain't much to live on for the rest of your life, but it's something that'll get you on if you have to pack up and go, or if something terrible happens, some sort of September the 11th kind of disaster again, where financial markets aren't easily recovered. So the man actually has some viable means to keep his family and his people the money that he have earned and saved and squirreled away. How is this a crime? We've got the second video placement if you've got that ready. We're going to be going to a break, and we'll come back pretty soon. We've got another video to see, but are the things that I'm speaking about, ladies and gentlemen, are they making sense now? Does it sound sensible to you? How many of you have got money? Okay, maybe you haven't got $100,000, I'm sure, sitting around in a jacket pocket, hanging up in your closet. Which, by the way, makes an awful lot of sense to me. Because if I had that kind of money in my home, do you think I'm going to put it inside a safe where burglars are going to head to try to break into, to rob and steal from? No, I'm going to hide it in a place they're not going to be looking. You break into a home, you don't go and start searching through someone's wardrobe. No, you look for the jewelry and stuff that's on your bureau or in a bathroom or whatever, and you look for the safe that's behind the picture or in the floor or under a carpet or in a cabinet drawer or something like that. Sometimes people actually they put cash inside their refrigerator and their freezer. This guy had a hiding place that was different than others. So what? Please tell me how this translates into, well, this man had this much money, so he must have been receiving bribes. How does this add up? How do you make this leap? Well, you have this kind of cash in your house. You must be receiving bribes. It doesn't make any sense to me. There has to be more of it there. And I'm sure that there are things that are contained in their indictment. They'll have maybe telephone records or this or that or whatever else. But again, it's all subject. It's all allegations. Nothing has been proven. Nothing has been shown. We haven't been convinced of anything. I certainly haven't seen any smoking guns. I don't know about you folks, but I've been following this, and it seems to me that these people are giving this fellow a railroad job. And what a railroad job they're giving, boy. How many of these other Democrat people that are flapping their gums have some gobs of cash stashed away in their home? And they're not talking about. Or other things. All I know is these days, the almighty dollar ain't so almighty anymore. And if I had the means to do it, I would be taking and hoarding some gold too. We'll be back in about 3.5 minutes, folks. Poli-Ticking, Mr. B. Stay with us. I'll see you soon.
Holding on to each other. Miss the last bus on foot to get home. I miss the town, rowdy and clever, all at once undercover, blowing kisses to the shop windows as we go. We stayed out playing past midnight. That was years ago. Now something just ain't right. Better take it slow.
We begin with the shocking new details in the federal indictment of a powerful U.S. senator. And tonight, the calls for New Jersey's Bob Menendez to resign are growing, including from the governor of his state and from his own party, who say the three-term senator needs to step down immediately. A grand jury indicted the Democratic senator and his wife on 3 counts of conspiracy to commit bribery, extortion, and fraud in a case alleging he aided a foreign government and New Jersey businessmen. The 39-page indictment, just unsealed today, is astonishing in its scope. Prosecutors found hundreds of thousands of dollars inside the lawmaker's house, with cash stuffed in his congressional jacket with his name on it, and then these gold bars that were wrapped in paper towels. In a statement, Menendez denies any wrongdoing. This is his second indictment in 10 years, which is believed to be the first time in American history that a sitting U.S. senator has been indicted on 2 separate criminal cases. CBS's Scott MacFarlane is on Capitol Hill with all of the details. Scott, I've read through this indictment. The charges here, the accusations are stunning in their detail.
And they are rocking Capitol Hill, Nora. The senator faces prosecution and calls from inside his own party to resign, accused of leveraging his powerful seat here at the Senate to enrich himself. The indictment against New Jersey Democrat Robert Menendez and his wife alleges vast corruption, trading political favors with 3 New Jersey businessmen in exchange for riches. Federal agents say when they raided the family home last summer, they found $100,000 worth of gold bars, $480,000 in cash, some stuffed in envelopes found in a jacket bearing Menendez's name. And outside in the driveway, a $60,000 Mercedes-Benz convertible, allegedly given to them by one of the businessmen he helped. The indictment says agents discovered a Google search by Menendez asking how much is 1 kilo of gold worth.
The senator and his wife accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars of bribes in exchange for Senator Menendez using his power and influence to protect and to enrich those businessmen.
Prosecutors allege Menendez wielded his Senate Foreign Relations Committee chairmanship to help one of the businessmen, American-Egyptian Will Hanna, secure a lucrative contract in Egypt, and helped Hanna get sensitive information about the U.S. Embassy in Cairo, which was ultimately shared with the Egyptian government. They say the scheme started in 2018, just months after a mistrial was declared in a prior corruption case Menendez was involved in.
I've made my share of mistakes, but my mistakes were never a crime.
The new indictment details the involvement of Menendez's wife, Lebanese-born Nadine Arslanian, whom he married in 2020 after 10 months of dating. The senator is seen here serenading her at India's Taj Mahal.
These hands could hold the world
before proposing. Arslanian is accused of taking a no-show job with Hanna, who allegedly had close ties to Egyptian intelligence. And according to the indictment, Hanna, in a text message to an Egyptian general, referred to Menendez as our man. The 69-year-old senator, who will temporarily step aside from his role as committee chairman, blasted the charges, saying the excesses of these prosecutors is apparent. They have misrepresented the normal work of a congressional office. On top of that, they have attacked my wife. Congressional ethics watchdog Noah Bookbinder. No matter the outcome of this case, no matter the party, you think this damages public trust?
Corruption in any party, any part of the ideological spectrum is damaging to the American people's faith in government.
The indictment could complicate Democrats' attempts to hold on to their slim Senate majority next year. Menendez himself is up for re-election, hasn't announced any plans to resign his seat. It would be New Jersey's governor, Phil Murphy, who would declare his replacement, Nora.
Scott MacFarlane, thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Can't say much more than that about it. The man has gold in his house. The man had cash in his house. They allege that he took bribes for whatever reasons or whatever else. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. There's got to be something that we're missing here. I don't understand. Okay, wait a minute. So, wait a minute. There was also a Mercedes in their house. That was apparently the gift of a friend. Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying that they received this as some sort of compensation or remuneration for some sort of untoward whatever else. Again, let's step back in time, to the point where it is long established now that this fellow has friends in the jet set style, spent an awful lot of time going back and forth, up and down, and whatever else, and going to parties and whatever else at this home, this gated community that was filled with houses that ordinarily go for about 20 million. Does it stand to reason that maybe it was a wedding gift? Maybe it was a congratulation. Maybe they had some other sort of business dealing. Who knows? Why suddenly, because there's a car in a person's driveway, it has to be a bribe? Can anybody please explain this to me? Where is this thinking coming from? And right away, all the people, as they say, in lockstep, coming in saying, "Oh, you got to get out of here. We can't have this." Yeah. You haven't been found guilty of anything, but you have to leave public service anyway because it looks bad. Well, guess what? Half the things that I cook look bad. I still eat them and I still benefit from the food. What the hell's the matter with these people? Our country fundamentally is based upon not the court of public opinion, tried and found guilty, having been given a fair trial, found guilty. You are innocent until you are proven guilty in due process, not before. But unfortunately, these people continue with the practice of pointing a finger and throwing the mob at and pulling the same kind of stuff that happened in Salem, Massachusetts in the 17th century. My God, people, it's time for our country to come out of this fog that we're in. Yeah, okay. Allegations have been made. Allegations have been made amongst a great many people before, and they were wrong. It's time that we put aside this mob mentality and looked back to the America that was spelled out by our founding fathers, by the people who have come here. This country has been built, who came here because they were fleeing oppression, unfair treatment. We have this now. People that are coming here, fleeing what they say is unfair treatment, bad government in wherever it is that they're from, seeking asylum here. Oh, they're coming to an asylum, all right. Look at how these people are treating each other down in Washington, treating us, treating their own. I don't know about you folks, but I'm not akin to the idea of taking a crap where I eat. And these people are shitting all over this man without first having even put litter in the box. This person, like all other people, deserves an equal and fair shake, and he's not being given it. And the people that are participating in it aren't just in our government, it's also the news media. They're not media, news media, whatever else. They're more influencers than anything else. Just as Joseph Goebbels had said so many years ago, the media is a wonderful instrument on which I can play. And lies told often enough and loud enough become truths. So what are we seeing going on here? Still more of what I say is a witch hunt. It is unfair. It is wrong. And our country is that much poorer for it. And speaking of our country being that much poorer, ladies and gentlemen, we've got another video coming up here now. Mr. Blazeman, do you have that video handy? What's going on? Yes.
A night of looting in
Have
the
a look
city
at
of
this, folks,
Philadelphia
and see what's
continued into the early morning hours.
Police were busy responding to retail theft and break-ins from West Philadelphia to Northeast Philadelphia.
The chaos started in Center City last night when a large group of juveniles began looting store after store. Then a caravan of people started riding around the city, targeting more spots. Police began pursuing one group and were able to stop them at Sellers and Oakland Streets in the Frankford neighborhood.
Overall, more than a dozen people were arrested, but interim Philadelphia Police Commissioner John Stanford was clear to point out the lawlessness is not related to an earlier peaceful protest. Those demonstrators who took to Center City streets were protesting a judge's decision yesterday. In that case, she dismissed all charges against former Philadelphia police officer Mark Dial in the deadly shooting of Eddie Irizarry.
We have team coverage of the events. Action News reporter Corey Davis has more on the drop charges for the former police officer.
But we're going to start with Action News reporter Catherine Scott live in Center City with what the new police chief called criminal opportunists. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, guys. And at this point, we don't know how many businesses in all were hit, but there was a heavy police presence in Center City overnight. We're over by the Apple Store, which was one of the locations that looters targeted. Numerous devices were taken. Witnesses found themselves in the middle of it.
We just saw a bunch of people, just go into the Lululemon, clothes everywhere.
This is cell phone video. Police making arrests at the Lululemon on Walnut Street. Authorities investigating reports that a caravan of vehicles moved around the city with followers jumping into the lawlessness. Cell phone video shows the chaos. People with arms full of clothing and electronics. You see them hauling them down Center City streets, loading the goods into cars. The looting started shortly before 8 p.m. 911 calls started coming in about a large group, possibly as many as 100, moving through Center City. Around 8 p.m., cell phone video shows a group of people taking merchandise out of a Chestnut Street Foot Locker. A number of juveniles got away, but police say at least one adult was arrested. Within 15 minutes, more looting reported, this time at Lululemon. You can see the piles of clothing on the floor. Around 8:15, the Apple Store on Walnut was hit. Phones and tablets taken, though police say some of the goods have since been recovered. By 9:10, police locked down multiple blocks of Chestnut and Walnut. As of midnight, police say at least 15 to 20 people were arrested. 2 weapons were recovered and 1 police vehicle sustained damage. Police say the looting had nothing to do with the earlier peaceful protests after a judge dismissed charges against a police officer who fatally shot Eddie Irizarry.
It's disrespectful to the Irizarry family and what they're going through right now, and they were at the protests earlier. They've certainly communicated in all of their social media and media appearances about wanting answers, wanting justice, but also wanting it to be peaceful. And these criminal opportunists just took advantage of us tonight.
To see what our city went through in 2020, and to have some individuals try to recreate that same type of energy tonight is disgusting.
And after the decision came down yesterday, police say they had added coverage as a precaution in the event of civil unrest. But again, that these were criminal opportunists last night. Police say to expect more arrests in connection to the looting. We're live in Center City. Catherine Scott, Channel 6 Action News.
And as you know, Catherine, the trouble did not stop there. A break-in sent police to this Rite Aid at 53rd Street and Baltimore Avenue in the Cobbs Creek section. Not long after that, a car slammed into the Curaleaf store on the 1500 block of City Avenue. It is not known if anything was stolen from that dispensary shop. Lower Merion police across the street were called in to respond to some of these incidents because Philadelphia police were so bogged down with other calls. Action News reporter Corey Davis is live at the Roosevelt Mall, which also saw criminal activity overnight. Good morning, Corey.
Matt and Tam, good morning. Yeah, the JD Sports here along Cotman Avenue at Roosevelt Mall, they tore this store apart. You can see all of the mannequins that are sprawled out right now along the floor. There are shoes out here, Nikes, Adidas, the entire wall over here where they usually have clothes hanging, that was entirely cleared out. There is not a single piece of clothing left behind here in the JD Sports at Roosevelt Mall. I want to give you a look there, some additional video, shattered glass on the floor, also JD Sports here. We're being told that the wave of looting here in the Northeast started after all the stuff in Center City around 11:15 last night. Looters also hit the T-Mobile store down the street. They shattered glass on the front door there. It appears someone broke through the back. The action cam was there as Philadelphia police loaded someone into the police van. A store called Dollhouse on Cotman Avenue in Mayfair was also hit. The entire front window was smashed out, leaving shattered glass all around the ground. We're being told the owner there is armed and guarding his store. Police tell us the looting yesterday was not part of the peaceful protest earlier in the day. The family of Eddie Irizarry among the protesters at City Hall and also moved over to the Criminal Justice Center. That's where the judge dismissed all charges, including first-degree murder yesterday against former Philadelphia police officer Mark Dial. The August 14th fatal shooting in Kensington caught on body camera and surveillance. Dial shot Irizarry 6 times during a traffic stop after his partner yelled, "Gun, knife." Two knives were found inside Irizarry's vehicle. The initial storyline, police actually changed the initial storyline after the incident. The judge ultimately yesterday dismissed all charges, citing a lack of evidence. Family and protesters arguing the video is more than enough evidence. So moving forward, we know the district attorney has appealed and will petition the courts to file those charges against Dial all over again. That ultimately would be left to a judge to make a final decision on that. Reporting live here in Ronhurst, Corey Davis, Channel 6 Action News.
Well, isn't that a story that warms your heart, ladies and gentlemen? All those fine quality, upstanding citizens rushing to the needs of the retailers, removing those pesky doors and windows, and helping them get rid of all that effluent of merchandise, carting it away, and they don't have to worry about it. And by the way, if it's gone, don't worry about it. The insurance company will put more back on the shelves there the next day or so. Don't worry about it. When you see what's going on here in our America, ladies and gentlemen, we've got people that are saying, take money away from the police. We don't need police. Oh, police don't need to, if they arrest somebody, they don't need to pay any bail. It doesn't do anything, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Truly, the lunatics are running the asylum, ladies and gentlemen, when things like this are allowed to happen and to go on, and the people out in the streets applaud it. Why? Unbelievable. So let's take it from this direction here. There was a peaceful protest that was going on because people were upset with the fact that a judge said, well, lack of evidence, we're going to take and we're going to dismiss this thing. That was police shot a fellow by the name of Eddie Irizarry on about August the 14th. It was a traffic stop, and there were 2 police officers. One of them said that he saw a gun and knives, weapons, something like that, and something had happened that caused the other police officer to fire into the thing, and Mr. Irizarry got killed. Inside the vehicle he was in, they did find 2 knives. I'm not sure about them having found a gun, but I'm told we have a little something else for you folks to view. Mr. Blazeman, you've got something? Please, by all means, the floor is yours. Present it.
Now it is official. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has formally invoked Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 of the U.S. Constitution, which gives the right to every state to declare actual war if they're being invaded or in imminent danger. You may not know this, but individual states can actually declare war. It's not a power solely for the federal government. It's an inherent part of the separation of powers. States do not need Congress's approval. It doesn't even have to be an army invading. Some of the founding fathers, like James Madison, explicitly stated that Article 1, Section 10 could be invoked against smugglers. Madison specifically cited Virginia using its militia to stop smugglers as an example of a valid exercise of the invasion powers. Again, the principle is simply one of state sovereignty. If the sovereignty of a state is violated, that state has the right to declare war on an individual basis without congressional approval. Now it is official.
Okay, well, we've got that situation that's going on over there. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. And Texas is probably going to be only the first of many that could also do this. And they're talking about militia and what that little sound buzzing in your ear way back about something about a well-regulated militia and so forth. The Second Amendment to the Constitution for the right of persons to bear arms, to own arms, keep them, use them if necessary, and especially for militia. And we're not just talking about National Guard, local, whatever it is. We're talking about individual militia. If there is an individual militia in the state of Texas, they've just gone ahead and invoked them to go ahead and start protecting the borders because our government ain't doing it. And the Customs and Border Patrol people that they have just are overwhelmed. Why? Because of the policies directly at the hand of President Joe Biden et al. And it didn't start with him. No. It started a long time ago with Barack the Wonder Schmuck, but he's continued it. Former President Trump tried, and unfortunately, they kept throwing sticks in his path. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is a debate coming up now at about 9 o'clock. So we're going to make sure that we are off in about another 3 minutes. And I ardently urge you to take and tune in to see what these people have to say. And by the way, I'm going to mention this. All of the people together that are going to be on that stage are going to be, I don't know, like 6, 7 of them. None of them comes close to the popularity still enjoyed by former President Donald Trump, who still is considered the front runner to be running for the office of president again in the United States. That having been said, ladies and gentlemen, there are a number of things that are going on and a lot of things that are trying to be done again to throw sticks in the path of President Trump to try and keep him out of office. Let's all do whatever we can to hold up and support the man, because the way I see it, he's the only hope we've got. And we do need the man in office. If you don't like him, okay, fine, I understand that. But think about this. Really think about this. Is there anybody else that can possibly do the job better than what he had been able to do? Are you better off now than you were 3 years ago? How much is that gallon of gasoline costing you folks? How about your natural gas? How about your electric bill? How about the eggs, the butter, the milk, the cereal for your children, the beef for your table, the bacon and sausage and the home cleaning goods. Are they costing you a little bit more or a lot more? For no good reason. All right, folks. I've done an awful lot of talking. By means, if you like this, share this, tell your friends, invite them in. Please, by all means, spread this around. It's got to get known. We are here for the people to be informed and to think and to cause thought. This is why we're doing this job. We're talking like this. I'm Mr. B. My dear friend Agnes, the Angry Chicken Mug, are here. This has been Poli-Ticking with Mr. B and the FFN Network. We wish you all wonderful time. Have a good evening. Tune in if you can to the debate, and we will see you again next week, everybody. Thank you very much. Mr. Blazeman.